Shout out to you guys. Live was the only one up in here chilling for a little second. She didn't say nothing, but see Aunt Live up in here now. What's up, Aunt Live? What's up, Q? What's up with everybody coming up in the space? Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and retweet the space out. We're live on YouTube now. Live on YouTube. What's going on to everybody up in the space tonight? Glad to have you guys up in here as always. Shout out to you guys up in here. Go ahead and tweet the space out. For those that come on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and comment for tonight's broadcast. Once again, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment for tonight's broadcast. What's going on, Nita? What's going on, No Bull? I see you up in there as well. Shout out to everybody coming up in the space. Of course, we're gonna be talking about the RICO charges on Donald Trump as well as Young Thug and Fani Willis. It's kind of hard for me not to call her Fani Willis, but Fani, I believe it's pronounced Fani Willis. So we're gonna be talking about that tonight, man, and definitely look forward to hearing everybody's once again point of view about this situation going. Donald Trump hit with RICO charges. Donald Trump hit with RICO charges. Young Thug hit with RICO charges. They're talking about that these are going to be the two biggest trials in the history of Atlanta. The two trials that they got coming up as well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to dig into it tonight. Guys, make sure you go ahead and share the room out. Share the room out. Go ahead and retweet it out. People are starting to come in as they come in. What's up, Original? See you down there in the actual and this is Original neck of woods as well too. Original, you from Georgia, so I definitely know you're gonna have plenty to say about this. I want to get your thoughts on this whole RICO the whole RICO situation from both Trump and Young Thug as well too. What's up, Aunt Lai? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
I was just driving. I just got home. Give me like 10 minutes. I got my hand up because y'all know this is near and dear to my heart. So just give me a couple of minutes to get in the house. But baby, I'm gonna break it down.
Okay.
You got 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes.
Well,
I want to also educate on what, like, people need to understand how the RICO laws were founded. And literally, the government tried to create a way to go after the mob because they kept going after them for BS charges, and they couldn't get nothing was sticking. Nothing was sticking. They was throwing everything at the wall. So they literally created these charges for the mob because they were getting away with doing everything, but they was really doing nothing. Like a friend of a friend or having conversations and, like telling this person, no, you're not going to testify against me. And that's where these RICO charges originated from. So it's very, very deep. But just give me a couple of minutes. I'm going to keep my hand up.
Well, we would definitely do that, sister. And I look forward to your breakdown exactly how the RICO and everything got started. When you think about the RICO, you do think about mob type situations as well too. So didn't R. Kelly get hit with a RICO charge as well too? If I'm not mistaken, and they hit R. Kelly with the RICO as well too. DJ, I think he got hit with RICO on top of everything else he got hit with as well too. So
I'm not sure about RICO.
Oh, what? No, was it the Mann Act? It was the Mann Act. That's what it was.
Yeah, the Mann Act. That's what it was. I'm not sure about anything RICO. As far as like any type of taxes or like he was out here pimping and had the women on the blade. We'll say that he wasn't doing that though, but yeah, I don't think it was any RICO charges. But I'm gonna look that up.
Man, look that up because I know it was a Mann Act, but I thought he might have got hit with the RICO as well too. Shout out, I see my girl Rerop in here as well too. So shout out to her, Minister Ali, Alicia. Shout out to everybody coming in here, Sister Butterfly. What's up, guys? Let me go ahead and touch up on this article real quick. This is from the New Pittsburgh Carrier. And let me go ahead and touch up on this real quick. It says, a president, a rapper, and Fani Williams, how RICO charges will impact Trump, Young Thug, and the biggest trials in Atlanta history. We talk about that. These are going to be the biggest trials in Atlanta history. Wow. Two of the biggest trials in America will take place in Atlanta. Former President Donald Trump and prolific Atlanta rapper Young Thug will both fight charges in separate cases under Georgia's Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organization statute, also known as the RICO. On August 14th, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis announced the indictment of Trump and 18 other co-defendants in connection to the 2020 election probe. Every individual in the indictment is charged with one count of violating the RICO act through participation in criminal enterprises in Fulton County, Georgia, and elsewhere to accomplish the illegal goal of allowing Donald J. Trump to seize the presidential term of office beginning on January 2021, Willis said during a press conference at Fulton County Court on the night of August 14th. Both cases against Trump and Young will stand as the biggest court trials in Atlanta's history. It would also thrust Willis into the national spotlight during an interview that took place earlier this summer. Willis, I don't know why I keep saying Williams, but Willis shared with me that she's willing to go after any person, big or small, who commits crime in Fulton County. It's going to be a historic year, Willis shared. It's certainly, we have more history to come. We're going to continue to do great things because I said it before and I'll say it again. No one is above the law. And so we're making sure through our efforts that we are making sure that our community has its dignity, but we also want to persecute those that choose to come to this county and commit crimes. But Willis isn't new to using the RICO to cast a wide net over alleged crimes. 10 years ago, Willis used the RICO to indict 35 teachers in the Atlanta public school system who were accused of falsifying standardized test scores. It came at a time when test scores were often directly linked to funding, as schools were consistently low test scores could be taken over by the state or closed. When Willis became the county's lead district attorney in 2020, she began to build a team that was well versed in the RICO law. She hired John E. Floyd, who wrote a popular legal book, A RICO Statute. It didn't take long for Willis to strike. In May of 2022, Willis shocked the entertainment world by arresting Young Thug, Gunna, who would be released in December 2022, and other members of YSL. They were all charged under the RICO for multiple crimes. The YSL case has impacted hip hop with the potential use of rap lyrics during the trial. Young Thug's lawyers are hoping that the rap lyrics are not used as evidence and have stated that rap lyrics are protected under the First and 14th Amendment, the U.S. Constitution, and the Georgia Constitution in terms of music, freedom of expression, and freedom of speech. Young Thug's lawyers also added that there are racial implications to using rap lyrics as evidence in the criminal trial, claiming that it's racist and discriminatory because the jury will be so poisoned and prejudiced by the artistic material. In turn, the lawyer said the use of rap lyrics would be unlawful character assassination. From 2009 to 2019, over 500 cases across the country implemented the use of rap lyrics during trial, according to researchers at the University of Richmond. But Willis defended her office choice to use rap lyrics in court if it can be directly tied to a specific crime. I think if you decide to admit your crimes of a beat, I'm going to use it, Willis said in a press conference in August 2022. I'm going to continue to do that. People can continue to be angry about it. I have some legal advice. Don't confess to crimes on rap lyrics if you don't want them used, or at least get out of my county. Interestingly, Trump could also follow Young Thug's defense by claiming he was protected under the First Amendment when he called former Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and Governor Brian Kemp to help overturn the 2020 election. Trump asked Raffensperger during a phone call to help him secure over 11,000 votes, the amount in which he trailed Joe Biden in Georgia. During a recorded call that took place on January 2nd, 2021, Trump told Raffensperger, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have because we won the state. Trump will not be protected by the First Amendment if Willis can prove that he used those particular words to commit a crime. With the 2024 election approaching, it is likely that Trump's run for office will be impacted. He currently leads the Republican field by a wide margin and appears to be headed to a rematch against President Joe Biden. However, if convicted in Georgia, Trump would not be able to pardon himself, and he couldn't be pardoned by Governor Brian Kemp. It's possible that Trump could be the first president to serve his term while in prison. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think the United States of government, the United States of America, if he did somehow manage to win, is going to allow the actual sitting president to sit in jail and serve his term. So I don't think we have to worry about that. We see the possible impact that and Atlanta is going to be trial central, I guess, with everything. And you're going to have a lot of rappers pretty nervous about Young Thug's case as well, too, because he is up in there with the RICO. I don't know if ever before in entertainment have we ever seen any entertainers actually arrested for their own actual art form by using actual RICO. So, I mean, like,
it's happened.
It's happened before? Like, what cases?
I'm not gonna gonna say like no name rappers, but obviously y'all know him. I can't think of his name off the top of the head, but they just got someone. What was this? Maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago at best. They got a dude that was a rapper, but he was really out here shooting jokers, but he was saying it in his raps, and they pretty much the same thing. But and I'm gonna say allegedly for the space, you know what I mean?
But did he get hit with a RICO though? I mean, like running RICO, we think of criminal enterprises.
Right. I understand that, but they use this. I'm just talking about the lyrics. They use his lyrics against them. You see what I'm saying? Young Thug's lyrics is also up on trial. You see what I'm saying? So this is what a lot of rappers are nervous about. Hey, if I'm saying I'm doing this, then the third, hold on, that could be just a children's story. So like, great, and then do that in real life, or that's just fiction. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of these rappers, we know they ain't really thugs and banging like that. It's the facade, man. You know what I mean? But go ahead, though.
No, I feel you on that too. Like, and I agree with you saying. I'm thinking in terms of the actual. Like I said, when I'm thinking RICO, I'm thinking about mafioso. I'm thinking about cartel. I'm thinking about gangs. I'm thinking about a group of people, an organization, a criminal enterprise. I'm thinking about something of that nature. So yeah, I get what you're saying, because I think we have heard. Yeah, I should have rephrased that. Like, yeah, we've seen rappers get targeted for saying certain things in their actual music. But the matter of the fact that you have it where, now it's like you're targeting them as like some kind of like it's a criminal enterprise or something that I've never ever seen before in my wildest dreams. So that's the thing that really stands out. This is Trump, what, fourth indictment right here? Is this his third or fourth indictment? Because we've had spaces about Trump being indicted. Every time we look, it seems like we always having a space that Donald Trump's been indicted. He's been indicted, but now you're indicting him with the RICO charge. You got the former president of the United States, and I know a lot of people feel like he's been specifically targeted because the Democrats are afraid of him actually running for re-election and possibly with the chance to actually beating Joe Biden. But I've definitely never seen a politician hit with the actual RICO Act. Like I say, and Aunt Lai said she was going to break it down, but when I think of the RICO Act, I'm thinking about the mob. I'm thinking everything being mob control. I'm thinking, something of that situation like that. I'm not thinking about an actual politician, and I know this thing, they're talking about the actual votes and everything else. And that whole situation is like not going away for Trump. And I think this is the case that he may have been the most afraid of right here for what everybody was saying. Not so much that thing about paying the porn star, the ex-stripper, whatever she was, some hush money, but this right here, this does have a potential of biting them in the what. So I'm just interested to hear what everybody's got to say about this topic. Like I said, the situation with Young Thug, the cat Gunna. I know from reading the article they say Gunna was released in December, but how many of those cats? Because I don't know like the whole the YSL. Like how many of those cats actually got hit up? DJ, do you know how many of them actually got arrested as well? See if DJ there. DJ, you there? Okay.
Yeah, my bad. I'm chewing some food.
Yeah, I was just trying to see what the
that whole little crew got arrested, bro. You know what I mean? The whole YSL. Hold on, I got you. So they got definitely some RICO charges on them coming. It may not specifically be Gunna and Young Thug, but they homies going to jail because they got a 2-year investigation. I forgot what they said, like 1,000-page report. And they got video, you know what I'm saying, of them shooting people. And not to say it was them, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that. You still got to prove it. You do this. It's me. I don't care what that tape say. You know what I'm saying? That ain't me. That's my evil 20 shit, you know what I mean? So they got these guys, on tape, robbing people, carjackings, drugs, added it up, you know what I mean? So if they had got a 2-year investigation, 1,000-page indictment type shit, yeah, you pretty much out of here, bro, at this point in the game, you know what I mean?
And they able to hit Donald Trump with a thing because they say they using 18 other co-defendants as, so I guess that's how they did the little organization thing with him. They say, okay, you got 18 folks assisting you in trying to rip off the actual election and everything else like that. So what about the actual cat? What was it? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you good. Let me say this real quick. So shout out to Black Majority. Old boy, Sue Surf over here in my hood in Brick City. He pled guilty to racketeering, you know what I mean? Or, and for a whole bunch of other shit. Then you got, one of the old block members, they got RICO charges to FBG Duck. They saying Dirk allegedly had something to do with it, you know what I'm saying? So, Dirk, yeah, you had a nice little run after FBG Duck got killed because you've been torn your ass off. Excuse me, so that might come back and bite him now. I can't think of this one rapper's name. Let me go find it. The one that actually used his lyrics against him. They sent them away, yo, for life, yo. Hold on a minute, I'll be back.
All right. Well, you go ahead. Let me go ahead and get the Aunt Lie, and we'll get the sister of Butterfly. Aunt Lie, go ahead. How you doing tonight?
MAGA, sister, what's up?
Is she there?
I know that kid will fired up. No, I'm saying.
You there, Aunt Lie?
All MAGA sister, know what I'm saying?
I know
She probably could be stuck in the matrix. Let's see.
No, I'm here. I thought I was talking, but I had the phone on mute.
Let's get it.
The breakdown of the RICO, what I want people to understand. Remember when I told you if they can't think of crime, they make it up? The government, actually, it was under President Nixon. That's the irony of this whole situation, because that's their favorite president. You know, he could do no wrong. Everybody loved Nixon. He's the best thing since sliced bread. Now, what happened was the government was mad because they couldn't hold the criminals accountable. They was laughing in their face. If you seen Goodfellas, you see how they giving them the finger. They know they wiretapping them, but they were still like doing brazen crime. And everybody was looking at them because a lot of the when you're dealing with crime, when you're dealing with law enforcement, a lot of it has to do with their ego. If they feel like their ego is hurt or their ego is being suffered, they want to get you back. So they had to come up away with it because with the construction of a lot of these construction sites, and they were taking the money and they were doing little robberies, but they wasn't really doing anything where you could actually get them. Again, the eight index crimes: that murder, robbery, rape, arson, you know what I mean, grand larceny, theft. There's some other ones I can't really think of them right now. So when it comes with racketeering, it had nothing really to do with crime. It's more of a behavior. And this is why it's so important. And this is why I say I believe all law enforcement agencies should be charged with this, because their behavior is leading to criminal activity and they are profiting from it. So they're not necessarily, even the crime of conspiracy. If me and one other person get together and say, you know what, we're going to rob a bank. And yeah, you're going to get the guns, I'm going to get the money. They can charge us with a crime just because we conspired to commit a crime. You see how that works? Just to having a conversation. Now, we could be lying, we could be making up in our head, but because we sat there and we agreed to do this, now you got the crime of conspiracy. And that's just having a conversation. Now, I don't know about you, but anybody that's doing a crime, of course, if you got a buddy and y'all commit crime together, y'all going to talk about it. So now they're trying to basically make illegal those conversations. And a lot of other things with this RICO is that it's a federal charge. The RICO was a federal charge. And after it was created in, I believe, in 1970, then the states came with, I believe it's 38 states also came with a list of other, their own separate RICO crimes where if this was committed in their state, they would be charged. Now, there's a list of crimes. I believe it's 27 crimes that you have to commit in a 2-year period. So if any of these crimes are committed, then you can say that this agency, this business, this corporation, this politician is guilty of this RICO racketeering. And that's the key here. It's a pattern of behavior. It's not that it's not criminal activity. It's a pattern from behavior and profiting from that. The defendant must prove that an existence of an enterprise. That's why I would say it was so important in the Young Thug case, where the people were saying, yes, it's a criminal enterprise. Yes, it was. It's very damning to his case because he's an artist. He's a rapper. He ain't no criminal enterprise, but he has 15 other people pleading guilty, saying it is an enterprise. So when he go to court, his defense is, I'm a rapper. I'm a record label. I'm not a criminal. It's hard because you have these people saying that it was. And you have to have like 4 key components. Because the enterprise, it says the defendants are not the enterprise. In other words, the defendants and the enterprise are not one of the same. There must be 4 specific relationships between the defendant and the enterprise. Either defendant invests in the proceeds of a pattern of racketeering activity into the enterprise, the defendant acquire or maintain an interest or control of the enterprise through the pattern of racketeering activity, or the defendants conducted or participated in the affairs of the enterprise through the pattern of racketeering activity, or the defendants conspired to do one of the above. Like, again, that's just basically saying, okay, well, I agree with you that we're going to take over this election because we lost. Yeah, we know we lost. We don't care. But if we call these people and we try to, and that's how they charge them. And there's civil penalties and there's criminal penalties. I don't know if y'all touched on this because my phone was going in and out. But one of the people, Mark Meadow, who was charged, just submitted a motion to have his state case taken to federal court. This is very key because in state court, where the case is now, you can only be pardoned by the governor. You can't be pardoned by the president of state charges. They can only pardon you by federal. If this case is taken to the federal court, then he can get a pardon. And that is something that's huge because a lot of times these criminals try to get rid of get over their crime by taking it to the further. And he has friends in the state because he was just the chief of staff for Trump. And I wanted to go over some of the crimes. And the only thing you have to do in a 10-year period is do 2 of these crimes.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think Donald Trump, before you get to that part, and you can go ahead and finish, but do you think Donald Trump should be charged with the RICO or Young Thug?
Hell yeah. No, not Young Thug. But Donald Trump, absolutely. He's guilty of the crime of racketeering. And this is the thing. Donald Trump had the type of attitude that I'm the president and I'm going to make certain happen. The crime of racketeering is a behavior. And the behavior he had, if you don't do this for me and I don't get my favor, I'm going to punish you. Charge that motherfucker. Charge him. I don't think Young Thug is. And I don't keep what people say about the crime and activity because they are trying to hold Young Thug responsible for other people's crimes. And my thing is, if you're going to charge him with a crime, you charge him with the crimes he committed. You're not going to charge him because we're from the streets. I know people who've done murders. The number 1 gang member in North is a personal friend of mine. So you're going to charge me because I know him and we had a conversation and he told me about he killed somebody. What the fuck? No. They are abusing this statute by going after Young Thug. Just because he has knowledge of somebody committing a crime does not mean he's a criminal. If he personally, if somebody, you in the street, if somebody told him he about to do a hit on somebody, the police is basically saying that he should have went to the police and told the police, no, the fuck he shouldn't. That ain't his place. They are abusing this statute by going after Young Thug with that because when you are in the inner city and you're dealing with certain things, you know about certain stuff that's going on in the street. That don't mean you're an enterprise. That don't mean I'm responsible because I'm the head of this record label, and then I might have you as a rapper on my record label, but you doing some dumb stuff. So now you charging me with what you? No, it's an abuse of power. Them going after Young Thug, them going after Trump. Oh yeah, throw that, lock the key, throw him. Yeah, definitely. And
because I know you go for a minute because I want to get to.
No, I'm about to wrap it up right now. I'm gonna just list the charges that they're saying is part of the racketeering activity, and then I'm gonna lay my plan.
Because I want you to stay up here, but I want to make sure Sister Butterfly. Sometimes people lose that connection, so I want to make sure she gets a shot. But go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say and remember one thing. Number 1, the racketeering is a behavior. 2, you have to do 2 of these crimes in a 10-year period. If 2 of these crimes are committed, you're guilty of racketeering. And this is why I said I believe law enforcement should be guilty and charged with racketeering based on how they treat Black people in the community. Some of the crimes are gambling, unforeseen matters, counterfeiting, fake money, embezzlement, fraud, obstruction of justice, slavery, bankruptcy fraud, securities fraud. Remember him with the money and saying he don't have it? That's racketeering. Drug trafficking, money laundering. Those are crimes, and it's a pattern of activity with those crimes. Remember Trump with the bank loans and things like. So I think it's definitely appropriate. Bribery, saying you got to give me these charges, calling Ukraine and saying I definitely think he should be charged with these charges. So land my plane. I'm gonna let somebody else talk, but this is huge. Him being charged with the racketeering is huge.
Oh yeah, it's a big thing, and I want to original when you get a chance because I know you live in Georgia, so I just want you to let us know the actual the feelings of the citizens down there as well too. What's your opinion of these charges when you get a chance to come up? No pressure on you. What do you think about Fani Williams Fani Willis as well too? I don't know why I keep calling her Williams. Fani Willis as well too. So when you get a chance, original, definitely if you want to speak tonight, I definitely look forward to hearing what you got to say because, like I said, you're actually down there, so you know probably a lot of stuff that's going on. Sister Butterfly, go ahead and unmute your mic. How you doing tonight?
Hey, Toter, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing all right. Shout out to the group. Much love to everybody. I'm in the country, so I hope y'all can hear me.
This trouble?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, Lord. Trouble, what do you?
My phone, they got me in bot hell on my other account, so every time I post something and say something on my other account, I got like 4 or 5 bots attacking my account and following me and carrying on. So I said I need to put that baby on ice for a bit.
Yo, every day, like somebody, I'm getting these bots every time it's something about Ethereum and everything. Every time, like once a day, like I get a couple of these bots that come out of nowhere, talk about Ethereum and investing in Ethereum. I'm like, where the hell are you dudes coming from? But I feel you on that. But go ahead, Trouble. I'm like, damn, I'm like, is that Trouble?
I thought you knew. I came in here a couple times on this account. Shout out to our Lyle. Lyle, I knew she was gonna be long-winded as hell. That's why I wanted to go before her. But she always come in and break down the bad boys, the charges and whatnot. Much love on that. But I think Trump needs to do what he do, make it happen. Captain, go ahead and get what you're supposed to get. Get them Ricos that y'all love to give everybody else. Go ahead, get it. But I thought that it was Giuliano that had the RICO charges because I know I posted something on my Trouble account earlier that said Rudy Giuliani had RICO charges on him too. So maybe it's a whole gang of them. But my connection, can you hear me? Because my connection is messing up.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. So, with the RICO charges against Trump, I hope they stick. I hope they stay. Go ahead and get them. Young Thug, I feel for him because they're going to try to put it on him. And when DJ was saying earlier about the other rappers' music that they got against, they used against them, when I looked it up online, they said it was about 10 rappers over time who's actually had their music used against them. I couldn't post it in the chat because it just got the plus sign down there. But yeah, it's been about 10 rappers that they've had their lyrics used against them. So I don't know how many of them specifically caught RICO charges, but they definitely can use your lyrics against you. They'll throw whatever they can, and if it'll stick with the judge that you're up against, because every judge is different. Some judges allow something that other judges won't do. So it really just kind of depends on the judge that he gets in. I hope the judge is in a good mood that day, and the jury too. And so I land on that. But I just wanted to add that little tidbit. But yeah.
All right, thank you, Trevor. I don't know why it's got the actual plus sign down there too.
Shout outs to the group, and I'll talk with you all soon.
Okay, take care, Trevor. I don't know why it's got the doggone plus sign. Why it's got the plus sign down there.
Go ahead, original.
I don't know why it's got the plus sign down there, but go ahead, original. How you doing tonight? You got it, original.
In jail. Well, let me just give you a little bit more information. Okay, yeah, they are all charged under the RICO statute, from Donald Trump to Rudy. Everybody in there, everybody in there is on RICO. But see, here is why, what's his name, Mark Meadows, the reason he's trying to, the reason a lot of them, they're trying to get their case moved over to the federal. See, here in Georgia, the governor can't pardon you. You have to go before the Pardons and Parole Board, and they have to do it. But then, in order to get there, depending on what kind of sentence you have, I think they said you got to serve at least 5 years before you can appeal to the Pardons and Parole Board. And it's like a group of about maybe, I think it's like 6 to 10 people that you have to go before, and they will make that determination if you should be pardoned. So that's why Mark Meadows did that, because he's trying to make it a federal statute. So that way, if Donald were to win the White House, then he can get a pardon, because he will not get a pardon automatically down here in Georgia. It's just not going to happen, because the governor can't even do stuff like that, And so, and I don't know if you've seen him and Donald been going back and forth at each other, because Donald attacked him back when this thing kind of first hit. He was trying to get him to throw the election as well, and so he got mad because they wouldn't throw it. And then that's when he sent the goons out. They attacked this elder sister, but she might be probably like maybe I don't know. I think they said she might have been 70 or something like that. But that's when they attacked her and her daughter. And so, but I think from what I heard, some people went out there. Oh no, y'all ain't getting away with this. And some people went out there to protect her. And that's why people are telling black folks to arm up, because these white folks come to your house, just shoot the shit out of them and deal with the rest later. But they had no business come up to your house bothering. They think they can do whatever they want and then scream bloody murder. But yeah, that. See the other thing is people was wondering what the buzz was. She need to file the RICO charges on Trump and all his goons, because that's what she always grabbed the black folks with the RICO charge. She always does that. And so people were saying she needs to do that same thing with Trump. And so that's what, so people were glad that she did it, because she got, Young Thug and all these other people in there on the RICO. And what is being said is that this case, see, they're still trying to do jury selection on with Young Thug, because they've not been able to see the jury yet. So they still doing jury selection. Jury selections and the motions, this case will not be tried in 6 months. I can tell you that right now. It is not going to be tried in 6 months. So they need to understand that, because see, here in the Metro Atlanta area, see, a lot of these people that become DAs or whatever, they will go after black people as if they are a foreign enemy, trying to lock them up, because the guy, you all may have seen him. His name is Robert James. I think he's been on CNN, and he went after the former CEO of DeKalb County, which is like the mayor of DeKalb County, and he accused him of doing a pay-to-play thing, because some white person said that he told him that he would give him a contract on something if he would pay him money or whatever. But and they said the evidence didn't match up, and so the guy ended up going to jail for about a couple of years. But he appealed it, and he won the case on appeal, and he's out. I think he worked with the ACLU now. But that's how a lot of these people operate here, these black folks. They want to show the white folks that they can be just as hard on us as they can. So that's why the buzz was she better charge Donald with the RICO Act because she been charging all these black folks. Because she went after these the school teacher when they had this so-called cheating scandal. And see, the issue is that same thing had went down in other counties in Georgia, but nobody went to jail. Atlanta was the only county where people went to jail. See, that's like these people. Like I said before, these people, they want us to vote them in the office. I was hearing somebody was saying that they're trying to tell black folks to make sure you register to vote and this, that, and whatever, so you can more that you might have the opportunity to sit on this trial. But I don't think I would want to sit on this trial because it's just going to be so long. What about, do you want to really give up that much of your life for a damn trial? I don't have a problem, sitting on a jury, but this one here, well then too, who knows? But I just want to share that with y'all about as to why Mark Meadows as well as Trump and some of these others, they may start trying to get their. I think Meadows is the only one who has, filed for a change of venue and moving into the federal, into the federal venue. But and you're gonna have some of them. They're gonna want to try to. They're gonna want to try to move it. Maybe she's a DA for Fulton County, but they may try to want to move it, but they can't really move to Cobb County because it didn't happen in Cobb County. They're trying to move it around to see if they can find a favorable white person or a stupid black person that will help them get off or whatever. So they've still got some things going on, but just understand that the governor cannot pardon them. So
Real quick, original. Let me ask you a question. What's the general consensus of Willis down there in Georgia, Atlanta area? Like, how do most people feel about her?
Some people are not too fond of her, because of how she went after those school teachers, and the same thing or worse happened in these other counties, and nobody went to jail. Nothing happened because they were white folks. Nothing happened, and people wonder if those teachers had been white, would she have gone after them the way that she did? But they said it didn't even warrant, the RICO statute what they was alleged to have done. And so there are some people that don't like her, but you got some people now, they're on this thing whereby, Trump is attacking her. We got to stand with her. I'm not standing with Jack. Okay, you're doing this. You're on your own. Okay, and so that's what that is right now. There are some people that, like I said, some they are supporting her. But I know some who are like, hey, she's on her own. She has to do what she do. But they're just happy that she did it on the RICO. Because if she hadn't done it on the RICO, black folks would have really been pissed off. Because see, what they want to do now is that people are already saying that the white folks are already working. They're going to try to put a black person up against her that would be friendly to Trump to try to get him off. But my thing is that, look, if you're not doing anything for black folks, I'm not voting for you. Because she, back in 2018, she had she was promoting, I think his name was Charlie Bailey, as to be the Attorney General for the state of Georgia. And so what I did, she was like, oh yeah, he's the real deal. And so he was sending out these text messages. And so one of my messages, I said, well, how are you going to protect and defend black folks? See, nobody gives a damn about us. Then, so it was him or somebody sent me a message back saying, well, as Attorney General, my job is to represent all people. There we go with that all stuff again. Everybody's included. So I fired back. I know you all heard about the elder lady that the Atlanta Police Department shot and killed in her house, claiming she was selling drugs and she wasn't. There was another brother down in Union City that was shot in the back by this police officer or sheriff or whatever. He got off. Then there was a brother down near Columbus. His name is Keith or Kenneth Walker. He he was shot in the back of the head by the police, and nobody went to jail. So I cited all three of them saying, look, these things that happened where 3 black people are dead. So how the hell are you going to defend and protect us? They didn't respond back. But see, they understand that, he possibly could have won. But, with black folks, it's like, okay, how are you going to protect and defend me? What you going to do for me? My demographic. And they don't want to own up and say what they're going to do for black folks. But any other demographic, no problem. And I'll land with that.
All right. Thank you, Original. Shout out to Original. He's down there in the area. Let me go ahead. Anybody else wants to speak as well, too, feel free to come on up here. So we got some of our usuals up in the space. And like I said before, when I still think of Rico, though, I still think, I don't know. I have, from growing up, I had this perception of an actual criminal enterprise, people making money illegally, people making money not paying taxes on them, just an actual just criminal organization, whether it's prostitution, whether it's bootlegging, it's gambling, it's dope. When I'm thinking of Rico, I'm thinking straight up. I'm thinking of an actual criminal element, organization, enterprise. And I'm just, I don't see you for Young Thug in particular. I just don't see somebody. And that's not to say he may not have done some criminal stuff and, he's putting it in his music or whatever. That's one thing if you want to charge him with that. But then when you talk about that, you're going to charge him with the RICO, with all of the criminal activity and the groups and the organizations and everything else around in this country that don't get hit with RICO charges. I have a little bit of a issue with that. With Trump, I know they're going to say that Trump had X amount of people trying to go ahead and legally steal a campaign and this and that or whatever. I think that's still going to be tough to prove, right? I really believe that's going to be tough to prove, but we'll see. Go ahead and you can further break it down for everybody up in the space as well. No taxation. Shout out. I see you up in here, Black Majority States. Shout out to you as well. Go ahead, Aunt Lai, and further break it down if you don't mind.
Peace, black power, and reparations. I do understand your reservations as far as the RICO is concerned, but the issue that I have with the RICO is that it's not being distributed equally the way it's supposed to be used. Trump is a criminal enterprise. He literally, Trump plane, Trump steaks, Trump airplane. He is the epitome of who a RICO charge should be used for. He has been getting away with his criminal enterprise, bribery, public corruption, fraud since for 50 years, since the 70s. So if anybody should be charged with a RICO, man, if you don't understand, I'm sitting here shouting and doing praise dances. If anybody should be charged with a RICO, the chickens is coming home to roost. And the issue that I have with the lady in Atlanta is, remember when I said if you're black in law enforcement, you have to support white supremacy? For the teachers to be charged with this is BS. The teachers should not have been charged with a criminal enterprise because they were not seeking a financial benefit from their crimes. They were not reaping the benefits of the kids having better grades. It was dumb, but RICO is more of an organized criminal enterprise. And the thing with the RICO charges for the mafia people, it fit them to a T because remember they kept trying to charge them people because they would be coming with firms, they would have all these cars. No, none of them was doing W-2. The IRS got, I forgot who the IRS got, but they literally, because they seen them with the firms and they seen them with the houses, but they wasn't having no W-2 forms. So it's easy to go after them with that one. But when you are sitting here talking about the type of crimes that Trump has been, like there's so many crimes that this man has committed, he should have been charged with a federal RICO. The fact that Georgia had the BALLS to do it is more power to you. But it's just the fact that it's not being used equally. The way the game works with the prosecutors, when prosecutors charge you with crime, they don't know if you're guilty of it or not. They're assuming. They're looking at the evidence that whatever it is that they take as evidence. And when you get a RICO, and the name of the game is you put pressure on people and get people to talk. So even if Young Thug is not a criminal, he don't have that was with him that took the. Because a lot of this stuff, again, remember, you're innocent until proven guilty. but he has to overcome so much. People saying that it's a criminal enterprise, which still doesn't make it a criminal enterprise. A lot of times when it comes to these situations, is who has the best argument in the defense in court, not necessarily who is actually a criminal enterprise, because it's a lot of abuse in the system. When you see these police, because it's also public corruption, official misconduct. This is also how they was getting a lot of the politicians. Politicians was getting in office and they was paying people for bids, the contracts, city contracts, and workers. They were using this for the politicians. I'm not sure if Marion Barry was faced with a RICO, but I know that some politicians, they were going after them with this charge, because it's not necessarily, it's a criminal of behavior. If I am the HNIC, but the people under me are committing the bribery, the witness tampering, and doing things so I can get a certain lifestyle or I can reap certain benefits, that is a criminal enterprise. But it's just, when it comes to the Young Thug situation, I don't even know who he is. I can't tell you a song. I can't say that I'm not a fan. I just see the abuse of it, because just because the federal prosecutor, or the Atlanta DA say you are a criminal enterprise and are trying to hold him accountable, to my understanding of the situation, for crimes that other people committed that he know about, is BS. You know how many crimes I know that people committed? You know how many conversations I've had with people about the dirt that they've done? My close personal friend that I knew for just over his 49th birthday was in federal prison with guns and drugs. He did 20 years. I knew him all my life. So now, because we friends and he give me money, I give him money, now it's because I think that's BS. I think they're pushing it. They're coming at a way to, again, I don't know if y'all remember the conversation when I said hip-hop was being infiltrated. And the federal government went after Irv Gotti. They went after, I told you, I think they went after old dude. That's why he put the white boy in to take down hip-hop from within. But law enforcement, they have the hip-hop police in New York. Law enforcement has to have an active role in saying or seeing how can they get hip-hop community. And I feel that was more done within the Young Thug situation. Because he can't be held accountable for what people do, and he knows about it. You know, and in regards to Trump is exactly the type of person who should be charged with a RICO. If you don't think of anybody else, when you think of the mob, think of him. In New Jersey, we have Atlantic City, we had the hotels, he had the Trump Hotel, and he was filing for bankruptcy and it never made money and it was always under construction because of the mob. And he was saying, I don't have any money, because he was putting his money in certain type of corporations, so he never had to pay taxes. Yes, if anybody is charged with RICO, trust and believe. If you think of Hakeem, think of me. He is the one that should be charged. The crime fits perfectly. They're going to try to do everything in their power to not have it in Georgia. They're going to try to do everything in their power to sway the situation. And it's going to be really interesting to see. Also, I read somewhere, I was trying to look for the article to put it up there, but Trump said that she slept with one of the YSL members, and she said that if he don't prove it by the morning time, she was going to charge him again. And I hope it's the truth. And I'm like, my heart is palpitating because it's just giving me orgasm. I love the law, the criminal justice, and the fight to see and to actually see a criminal go down for their crimes. Oh, this is the most exciting thing like ever, because they're never held accountable. They always get away with it because, again, he is not quiet about the crimes that he's committed. He's committing the crimes and he's out in the open with it. So the fact that the chickens are coming home to roost and he can possibly be held accountable for the crimes that he actually committed, it's a good day for the home team, and I believe he deserves every bit of it. And I hope he rot in hell, And I love my plan.
All right, thank you, Aunt Lai. And I want to read a couple comments, particular from Dusty Pookie, my man Nat over there. I want to read a couple comments, and this is pertaining to Young Thug. So give me 1 second, guys. He says, this man sells drugs and poisons black people, parents, and destroys black families. He leads an organization that murders black men. They steal and rob black people. All their crimes against black people. They don't do crap to white people. They don't hurt white people ever. All their crimes against black people, and we still got black people defending that behavior. It is sad. Of course, he said it with the S word. It's sad. I'll never get it. Never. This man and his organization target black people. They destroy black families. The basic societal culture building black the family. People like him are the reason we're losing, been losing, and continue to lose. We stay the permanent underclass and the laughing stock of the whole damn world because the young thugs and all the criminal a-holes that work to hold black people back. So that's Dusty Pookie over there on YouTube giving you his personal opinion on Young Thug. So, needless to say, I can say, Dusty, you believe that the actual RICO charges fit Young Thug perfectly, and he's getting his just dessert. So, this was my man Dusty. He's always a listener. Nate, he changed his profile up, but he's always a listener and a contributor over there. So he's giving you his personal opinion that, hey, personally, he feels that the charges are correct. Now, I'm gonna ask you this right here, Dusty. Do you feel the charges for Trump? And I know you haven't commented yet, but when you get a chance, I want you to leave a comment. Do you feel Trump should be hit with the RICO as well too? I know you're talking about Young Thug and what you consider him to do against black people and to be a burden amongst black people. But do you think Trump also deserves to get hit with the RICO charge as well? And do you feel like other rappers as well deserve to have RICO charges brought up on them based off of the lyrics that they're putting out there? So when you get a chance, I know you're listening, go ahead and put that in the comment section and I will read your response back to the space tonight as well too. So shout out to you for leaving your giving your honest opinion, and you're entitled to it. And I'm sure some people in here may agree with it, and I'm sure some people in here may disagree with it. Unless since you're a speaker and you just heard what I read, what do you think about what Dusty Pookie had to say about that? As they say, how do you like them apples?
First of all, I want to give a shout out to the name because the name is golden. Dusty Pookie is hilarious. Second of all, I want to say I don't know what he charged with. From my understanding, again, I don't know who he is. I don't know if he was out there shooting and killing people, but he should be charged with shooting and killing. If he did any murders, charge that homeboy with a murder. I don't have a problem with that. But from my understanding, and again, my knowledge on this topic is not very. I'm sitting there trying to Google now. What are his actual charges? Because from what somebody said, that some of the charges that he was charged with the criminal enterprise is just him being the head of some stuff. And I was just like, okay, so other people was doing murders, but they're charging him with being the head of it. And I feel like that's BS. Because where happens to accountability? If somebody else commits a murder and I know about the murder, don't charge me with knowing about a murder, because they're basically saying that he should have called the cops. It's a BS charge. If you're saying that he committed some murders, charge him with the murder charge. I'll be the first one to tell you to throw him lock him up and throw away the key. He was out there selling drugs. They got drug charges for that. I don't have a problem with a person being charged with the crimes or the offenses that they're committing. The problem that I have is that the government is saying, I can't get you on this. I can't hold you accountable. I know you're a criminal, so I'm going to make up some shit and get you with. I have an issue with that. Because at the end of the day, these white people do white-collar crimes, bribery, official misconduct, witness tamper. They harass black people, shoot and kill them. They do white-collar crimes and commit murder, and don't nothing happen to them. So I am not the one to say, we got black people in the community, let them get away with their crimes. Hell to no. My brother was shot and killed and murdered. I would never say that. I am saying just because you're a government agency, you can't decide to go after somebody or some BS charges because you can't get them for what they actually did. Do your fucking job. This is the point of the law enforcement being so incompetent. Because if he did some murders and he did all this, and you watched him for all these years, but you're charging him, he just in charge of some shit. Nah, homie. Get him for the murders. And again, I don't want to speak of it because I don't know about, I'm trying to Google and see what the charges he was actually charged with. But to my understanding, the RICO charge is him being the head of a criminal organization. So that means everybody under him did, he is responsible for. And people under him already said that it's a criminal enterprise and pled guilty to their charges. So now he's stuck just because they're saying that he's in charge of some stuff. That's an issue for me. So what he said, I agree with it. I rock with 150%. I'm trying to Google. Does anybody know the actual charges that he was charged with?
I'm not sure. Let me see if I can see.
Because I'm trying to Google read this article, but it's talking about everybody else in the organization. That's what I'm saying.
All I know is the article that.
Right, you're right. A lot they're talking about everybody else in the organization, the YSL group. So that's
what I'm saying.
Right, but look, that's what I said before. They got the YSL group with 2-year investigation. You know that's a long time, 2 years.
No, it's 7 years.
Oh, 7 years. I know it was a couple years. It was a couple years.
7.
Right, and then I think it's 1,000-page indictment report. 1,000 fucking pages. You're gone. You know what I'm saying? Fuck who being charged with somebody going to jail for a very long time. We understand that simplistically, but they got these jokers on tape, busting their gun in public, shooting it out with other gang members, selling dope, all this other shit. So it's like that, man.
Yeah, I see Dusty. Real quick, Dusty, he did respond. He says, these criminals never step to white people. He says, I don't know about Trump. I haven't been paying attention to him. You keep referring to him as a rapper, like all he was doing was making music, minding his business, and wasn't running amok. Was a musician and a leader of a criminal was a musician and a leader of a criminal organization. I don't know if he meant to say he was a musician and a leader of a criminal organization. Call him a rapper because that's what he was. I don't like Aunt La said, I don't know anything about this dude other than him popping up in the news or whatever. I don't know any of his songs that he sings. I couldn't, before all this started going down, I couldn't pick him out.
Right. But look, they young thugs and get busy in these streets. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Folk know that if you listen to music or you keep your ear to the street, they say he like the Nino Brown, I guess, you know what I'm saying? So there you go, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't even gonna say that, but just joking for the space election. But there you go.
Yeah, like I say, I didn't know much about it or whatever. Outside of, like I say, what I've heard lately or what I've heard recently about the brother, like I don't know any of his music, I don't know anything, and all this stuff that they started talking about, they started bringing about this up, this and that or whatever. Didn't know anything about it till they started actually bringing this stuff up as well too. So, the Rico, I mean, hey, Dusty, if he, like Aunt La said, if he was going around and shooting people and doing this and that, people not saying that he shouldn't be facing charges and this and that or whatever. We're saying that I'm saying simply, if you're going to just simply say, if you're going to be taking music and making that into a criminal offense, into a RICO offense, like she said, we're not talking about, if he's the head of a big time organization and this and that or whatever, that's one thing. But if you're saying that, hey, I want to take lyrics and stuff like that, because we know a lot of rappers lie about what they do as well too. Let's keep it a buck. The people, their own family members, their mothers, their neighbors, and everything else. When these people start talking about how gangster they are and this and that or whatever, a lot of these people that's talking about always shooting people and doing this and doing that haven't done anything. So if this guy's actually out there like that, that's one thing. That's a whole nother thing as well too. But I see you saying Gunner turned state witness. He got people turning state witness. They said YSL was a criminal organization. Hey, it very well may be. You say, bro, people been testifying about YSL. I'm sure people probably have too. If people already have priors on them as well too, and they holding that over your head, I'm sure a bunch of people are going to testify if they know that, hey, you got priors, and we trying to get this or whatever. That's real. I don't know. Like I say, you know more about YSL than us. I'm saying that simple music and stuff like that shouldn't get people locked up, hit with RICO charges. Now, if you want to say that this leads back to an actual crime that somebody put in their song, and you can go ahead and you can detail that and you can pinpoint it, that's one thing. But if you're saying that we're going to start using music and start putting RICO charges, it's one thing to give just a direct case or hitting somebody with a direct charge. It's another thing saying, hey, rappers, we're going to start hitting RICO. When, let's be for real, when the last time we heard that the mob people getting hit with RICO charges? When was the last time we seen organized crime? When was the last time we saw the bikers? And when was the last time we saw La Familia and we saw some of these cartels and everything else getting hit with RICO charges as well too? So I'm saying the RICO charges, yeah, if we're gonna hit RICO charges, let's make it fair as well too, because I don't see anything. Don't tell me that the mob, because we don't hear from them, that the mob then went out of business. You don't tell me that organized crime is just a black thing now as well too. If we're gonna use the RICO fairly, because I don't see that. I don't see the RICO popping up left and right like that. I'm sure a lot of these mob movies and stuff that's been based on actual true stories that they piece together and stuff like that. I'm sure you can find ways of attacking people and hitting them with RICO laws and everything as well too. Some of this stuff is detailing actual intricate situations that happen in these mob families, between 4-5 mob families that they've tied together and everything else like that. I don't see them going back and finding these sources and saying, you know what, we're going to hit you with the RICO Act as well too. So I'm saying if they actually run a criminal organization, that's one thing. But I'm saying I don't see with all these other criminal organizations getting hit with RICO laws left and right as well either. Go ahead, Aunt Lai.
Yeah, I agree with you saying, and that's the thing. I feel like the powers that be, they want to take down hip hop. They don't want hip hop for a certain reason, so they're trying to attack it the best way they can, and they're trying to put. If you want to say that these people are criminals, I have no problem with that. But when you have people actually committing, you have law enforcement officials, you have public elected officials that we pay for, who are actually committing the crimes in the RICO statute, but are not being held accountable. And my opinion is, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the goddamn gander. And if we're gonna start having RICO charges, we're gonna have RICO charges for everybody, not just the black folks, not just the certain type of. Even if you look at the Breonna Taylor situation, the fact that the attorney general or the district attorney did not present the guy who murdered in front of the grand jury, then lied about, that's the fraud. Like, you're a public official, that's official misconduct. The lying on the police report. Even what happened, let's go to Mississippi. You have those 6 officers going after that. Like, all of these, like, I feel, and a lot of those RICO is also for public officials. That is the way for them to go after crooked politicians and things like that. It's not being used fairly. So you want to say, in order to be an enterprise, you got to have certain things. And I'm not saying black people are not smart and they can't have enterprises. I'm just saying, you charge him with the murder, homeboy. He did the murder, charge that motherfucker with the murder. Charge him with the drugs and all this. But you're not going to charge him with other stuff that other people did. And then they admit to it. But since he was the head, because it's a way for, again, black people to sell out other black people, and for them to get you on some shit, even though they can't get you on some shit. Like, if you're going to get me on a crime, get me on my crime. Don't get me on a crime because I had a conversation with somebody or I know about it. Because when I looked up, it was the only charge that I seen say he got 8 charges. It's 1,000 pages. So you got 1,000-page indictment and you only got 8 charges? I just did a complaint. Wait, it was a good 50 pages. It was up there. But you got 1,000 pages and you only got 8 charges? My man, how gangster is he really? 8 charges? 1,000 pages? How? Like, if he's that bad, this is because it's bigger than Nino Brown. If he's that bad, you can't get him for anything else. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying, the black man I don't know anything about this man. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying he's innocent. They just trying to bring the black man down. I'm just saying, charge him for the things that he did. You did 7 years. 7. And you only got 8 charges on my man? Something ain't right. So I just feel like, Trump ain't even had that long, and you got 41 at home, boy. Like, come on, man. He got 4 indictments in a how many year period? You got more dirt on Trump. And the fact that he has state charges, he has federal charges, Trump is more of a criminal enterprise than any young thug will ever be. Because he got federal charges, he got rape case. Like, Trump is the most gang. That's what a thug is, okay? He got rape charges from years. Like, he's just not a nice person. So all I'm saying is I feel like they wanted to get him, and they wanted to get him by any means necessary. So that's how we got 1,000 pages.
Real quick on like, is Dusty saying that he said laugh out loud. We up here, we're defending a criminal. I think she said, and I said too, if the man did something that you can actually prove, go ahead and do that. Now, if you're saying that if you're saying that he is actually, you say drill rappers been rapping about their crimes and getting arrested and charged after self snitching. Okay, that's one thing. Nobody's saying that if somebody commits a crime and they put the evidence right there going back, that's one thing. I'm saying that how many RICO cases do we see popping up all throughout America? That's what I'm saying too. She's saying right here, if the guy did a murder, this and that or whatever, and you can prove it, she's saying go ahead and put him in jail. What we're talking about the RICO Act or whatever. We've never seen. I haven't seen RICO being applied like this loosely, especially in entertainment now. I haven't seen RICO. I don't see a bunch of, like I say, mafioso. I don't see a bunch of cartel people. I don't see a bunch of gang. I've not seen that RICO being applied like that. So you're saying that drill rapper. So let me get what you're saying, Dusty. You're saying that all of these RICO people, that all the people getting these RICO now, is that the biggest gangsters, the biggest thugs, the biggest dealers, the biggest criminals in this country now are rappers. Rappers are the ones that should be getting the actual RICO more than anybody else in America. So let me just get that clear. That's what you're saying, that out of all the people, all the criminals in the United States of America, because we're talking about Young Thug, and then now you're talking about the drill rappers. You said drill rappers been rapping about their crimes and getting arrested and charged after self-snitching. Okay, so they were snitching on themselves and they've been rapping about their crimes and they begin and they so no you saying that because you're saying that you're saying that because you're saying the Young Thug. Now we're talking about the drill rappers. So you just brought the rappers. You brought the drill rappers as an example. I'm talking about all of America. I'm saying because because we're saying nobody's saying that if they committed crimes that they shouldn't face the heat for the crimes if they did something. Nobody's saying that whatsoever. I'm not saying, well, Young Thug, nothing should happen to him and this and that or whatever. All I'm saying is that I've never seen, just with the actual the RICO being thrown around in entertainment the way it is like that. Like I say, if they're running a criminal organization, that's one thing. That's what a RICO is for. It's for a criminal organization, a criminal enterprise. That's what it's about. Now, if they're actually head of a criminal enterprise, that's one thing. Hey, but if they're not, then they shouldn't be charged for it. Now, for a RICO, now if you talk about other specific crimes that they did, that's one thing. But if you are the head of an actual criminal enterprise, and that's what I think. When I think of a RICO, I think of an actual enterprise. I think of a boss, and I think of underlings, and I think of their workers and everything else. If they had that going on, then hey, it is what it is. But all I'm saying is that it seems like the RICO Act is in rap. So let's just make sure that it's equal. You admitted you know nothing about the case. From what you're telling me, I mean, I don't understand what you're talking about. You're sitting here saying that I admit I know nothing about the case. Yeah, I said I know nothing about the case. I said if they actually run a criminal enterprise, and yeah, go ahead and put it. I'm saying, but if they're not running a criminal enterprise, and charge them on what they're actually being charged with. So I mean, I don't understand really what you're saying. If you're running a criminal enterprise, that's one thing. If you're not, and you're saying that they're putting incriminating stuff in their music or whatever, and they could be pointing to an actual crime, then go ahead and take care of that as well too. I'm also saying what you're not saying is, hey, what about all of America? I mean, I guess you're kind of missing that point there as well too. You don't seem to really be worried too much about America. I guess people say, well, we black, so we should just worry about black people and this and that or whatever. But a lot of times when people say that, a lot of times things come back happening on the average Joe Smo as well too. So I do kind of worry about when people say, well, I'm just going to worry about black people. Well, no, I'm going to just worry about the actual law itself as well too, because a lot of times the law gets twisted and manipulated and this and that as well too. If they run the criminal enterprise, then hey, if the shoe fits, you got to wear it. But at the same time, like I say, I'm worried about the average Joe Smo, because before you know it, they'll be applying this kind of stuff to the regular Joe Smo as well too. Oh, you're running a criminal enterprise, and people ain't running the criminal anything. So, what was you gonna say, Aunt Lai? I'm sorry, because I know I had cut you off.
I don't want to say. I feel like he might be of the Caucasian persuasion, so he just want to get at hip hop because it's black, and it doesn't seem like he's logical and reasonable. Because he's arguing over apples, and we're talking about oranges. He's not even seeing clearly what we are saying, and usually that's done to attack the argument that we are saying. Because, like you said several times, no one is saying that he shouldn't be charged with a crime if he committed a crime. But in his mind, drill rap and hip hop is the worst thing that ever happened. You know, like he is something not connected. You know, and I noticed a lot of those, like a lot of the people, the cracker whackers, they're saying that Stacey Abrams should be charged because she said she didn't agree with the election. And this is when I come in and I'm like, you know, cocaine is a hell of a drug because no one said, her saying she did not agree with the election is one thing. But you have somebody meeting with people, several people, because a bunch of them got indicted, and they're agreeing to call down there and change the votes, having people go up to Washington, D.C. to tear some stuff up because they didn't like the way the votes was going, and call on the phone and do all this other stuff to try to get to know the election is not in their favor, but still try to do other things to take the election away. It's more than just saying you don't agree with it. But in their head, Stacey Abrams should be charged the same way Trump should be charged, even though her actions and his actions are two different actions. You don't have to agree with the election. That is not a crime. Trump is not being charged because he's saying he don't believe he lost. But the white people who are defending him is saying, oh, you know, they're comparing apples and oranges. It had nothing to do with the fact that he didn't agree with it. It had everything to do with his actions after he didn't agree with it. That he decided to basically steal the shit. You know what I mean? He big OG, and he gonna take it. He gonna tell you what's gonna happen. He gonna make a phone call. He gonna get his people, his attorney, the attorney who used to prosecute RICO cases. We gonna get together, and this is what we gonna do. This is how it's gonna go down. You gonna call old boy. You gonna do this. We gonna make these statements, and they lay a specific plan. Like even when you suicidal, they ask you, well, do you have a plan? Because being suicidal, saying, you know what, I want to be in the fuck this shit. That's one thing. Excuse my French. I apologize. I'm a lady. But saying you suicidal and then having a plan to actually commit it, it's another. And when the first time you call the suicide hotline, they say, well, do you have a plan? Then they ask you, okay, what is your plan? Have you taken steps? Oh, well, I'm going to go get my prescription filled, okay, now you got a plan. That's different from just saying you don't agree with the stuff. Nobody agreed with the election. Hell, you think we wanted you to win? I didn't agree with that election at all, even though I knew Hillary lost. So they're comparing average to average. And when you have people like that, they're not going to agree with you. Anything you're saying, even when you say logical facts and you know, you debate their argument or you dispel what they think it is, and it's just like, again, he might need to get hit with a cracker whacker. But it's the true thing as far as this RICO should be looked at. When you have an officer, any time a police officer is charged, not charged, immediately, that's why I don't feel like the prosecutors who are going after these police officers should be investigating. Because they are not charging the officers or the law enforcement people with the charges that they should have, and they are further are committing official misconduct. Because it is fraud. What the guy did, and where Breonna Taylor case is, he committed fraud. He did official misconduct, witness tampering. When he did not go in there and truthfully and present the information to charge an officer, he committed fraud in the performance of his duty. You cannot do that. And now he's running for governor. The fact that these government officials feel as though they can do that, but not be held accountable and not be charged, lets you know that they don't really care about black people following the rules and following the law. They don't care about the law, period, but they want you as a black person to follow them. Excuse me, I apologize. White people don't care. Trump don't care about these laws. But as a black person, they want your black to follow them. You better not break any rule, because that's why when you have a black person, the officer shot the dog and got all them years in jail. He shot a dog, but he was black. He thought because he had on that blue that they weren't going to look at him, and they threw his to a dog. But you had these officers shooting and killing black people and not even being charged. If you're black and law enforcement, your job is to support white supremacy. So this RICO charge is appropriate to if anybody should ever be charged with it. When you think of RICO, think of Trump. He is a walking example of a RICO for the past 50 years. He's the perfect example. Perfect. Him and his family getting all those deals, $1 billion Saudi Arabia deals, $1 billion China, all this other example. businessman. He can't even. If somebody said, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for him because America is about business," and in my business, he's a businessman. He has not had anything successful in business. The only thing he know how to do is successful in business, file bankruptcy and not pay his bills, which is fraud. Because if you are in business and he lost $1 billion that he ain't had to pay taxes for 10 years. He's so good of a businessman, you're gonna vote for him that he lost $1 billion. Who loses money in a casino in Atlantic City? People literally go there who don't have any money and give money away. He lost money. You think he lost money by accident, or that was the fraud that he was perpetrating to make sure that he lose money? Because then he can claim the loss. He was literally filing paperwork saying that I have these Trump hotels. These properties are worth $50 million. They go to the bank to get some more loan, to get some more money, and then he'll say on his taxes, these properties is worth $2. These I ain't got no money. I ain't got no money. Fraud. He is the walking, talking epitome of RICO, and he's done it for years. So when the chick, the cocaine chick, talking about I want to vote for him because he's a businessman. America's about business, and everything needs to be about business. You sound like an idiot. He ain't a business. Any businessman you should vote for, it needs to be a successful one, not one who keep filing bankruptcy and can't even keep a light bill. He was buying tiles, buying all this equipment because it was fraud. And he's been doing this for years. The fact that, oh my God, I'm so tickled. I'm just about to, it warms my heart. I'm telling you, I haven't been this excited since, I don't even know what to do. I might go get some weed, and I've never seen marijuana in my life. But I'll land my plane.
Real quick, because I'm going to let DJ play this quick video with Trump. Let me respond real quick. Dusty said, News, do you think the Blood, Crips, BDs, and GDs are criminal organizations? Yeah, I've never said they weren't. I think we all know that the Bloods and the Crips are gangs. I mean, I'm not really sure about that. Wait. I mean,
so you think the Bloods and the Crips should be charged with a crime?
He asked. He asked, are they criminal organizations? I mean, they're gangs.
You think they're criminal organizations?
Huh?
You think they're criminal organizations?
Aren't they gangs?
A gang is not a criminal. I don't believe they're criminal organizations.
Then what are they?
They are a group of people who agreed to have the same psychological, philosophical beliefs. Some members commit crimes, but I don't think the organization is. I just feel like they were, because I don't know if you saw, it was a documentary called "The Bastards of the Party." After the Black Panther Party was disbanded by the government. But
I get what you're saying, and I know the Black Panthers after they fell and stuff, but I'm not talking about the Black Panthers. I'm saying the actual.
No, that's how they were created.
Yeah, I know the history behind it, but I'm saying but the Black Panthers, that Black Panther Party is long gone. I know you got a new one, but just they are actual gang. I mean,
yes, but just because you're a gang don't mean you should charge me with a crime. If I commit a crime, charge me with a crime. But like, for example, Snoop Dogg is a gang member. I don't feel as though you should charge Snoop Dogg with a crime just because he's a member of the Crips. I feel like that's BS. That's a way for them to attack Black people, because Snoop Dogg is the most infamous member, but he doesn't commit crimes. So just to say, he a criminal because it's people who are Crip members that commit crimes. Hold them motherfuckers accountable. Hold the criminals accountable, but don't hold just because somebody's affiliated with a Blood or a Crip, because now it's just like you're trying to get your way. You're just trying to get rid of them. If the government wanted to get rid of the Bloods and Crips, they could have. They got rid of the Black Panther Party. They wholeheartedly want to, but because some members of those parties engage in crime, they don't, because they work for white supremacy now, and they like the fact that they're killing Black people. Let them start killing white people. It'll change. But as long as they're killing people that look like them, the government is cool with it. They're doing the bid for them. They're helping them get the guns over here. They're helping them get the drugs over here. But I don't feel as though just because you are a gang member, you are a criminal. I feel like that's how they want us to think. I feel as though you are a criminal if you commit a crime, because I know way more people who work for the government and commit crimes than I do gang members that actually commit crimes. The majority of gang members don't commit crimes. The majority of people who join for the safety because walking to school or different things like that, and they don't commit crimes. Now, it's certain people in they about that life. But I feel like don't generalize all of them because of what some of them do, because they want us to get to the mentality of, oh, it's a bunch of criminals. Because a lot of gang members do a lot of stuff for good. Snoop Dogg got football teams, and he a Crip. He'll let you know he rep his set. He do his Crip walk, but I don't think you charge with a crime just because he's a member. It was a football player. That football player said he will never disown his gang because his gang was there for him. His gang made sure he went to school. When he went to college, his gang supported him, and he got into the NFL. And I don't think he should be charged with a crime. He said, I would never, and I don't know who he was. He fine though, but he said, I would never. And I feel like it's a lot of unity in the games. It's a lot of family in the games because, again, like if you say the history, how it was the bastards of the party, it's a lot of things that they do that are constructive. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to tote the games. I'm just playing devil's advocate, and I'm from the outside looking in, and I see how white supremacy see us. White supremacy want us to see the negative in everything. And some of the things, the gang members in the hood made sure that my black butt got to school and didn't mess with me, and made sure nobody else messed with me, but messed with other people. Now, I'm not saying they on some stuff, but I'm just saying just because you are a member of the party does not mean you are a criminal. Snoop Dogg, the famous one. So, I mean, I get what the person was saying, but they want us to bash us. They want black people to down other black people, the other black people activities. Because again, I know a couple of the number one gang members in New Jersey. One when I went to high school with, one right now is the number one gang member in Newark. The sweetest people. So just because they are gang members doesn't mean that they are criminals. Even though they both in prison right now, that's not the point. But I'm just saying, if you commit crimes, hold accountable for that crime. But for saying, because some gang members, all they got is the gang. They don't have any families. The government made sure their fathers was in prison, their mamas was on crack.
Let me real quick, let me get to original real quick, and I'm gonna get back to you. Go ahead, original.
Yeah, I had to step off and take a phone call, but let me just raise this issue. I don't know if anyone raised this issue or not, but has anybody questioned? Because I've been looking on the internet. And from what I can see, the Klan has never been charged with RICO. Did anybody raise that issue?
Nope.
Yeah, the Klan has not been charged.
I don't think the neo-Nazis have been charged with it either, to my knowledge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. See, what they're doing. Oh, you're welcome. Now, what they're doing now is this started out with the mafia, but what they're doing now is that they're using it to go after black folks, to say that, anytime, well, y'all know how it is. If two of us get together having a conversation, it's a problem. If a third one come in, it's a damn riot. They better call the police and bring the police and the Marines and everybody else, because they don't do that same thing with these white folks when they have their little gatherings and stuff. They don't charge even I've seen whereby some of these white motorcycle gangs, they will get together at these little places and they end up killing each other, but nobody is charged with any kind of RICO statutes or anything. But I was looking because I see right here, just last year in May, there's an article where T.I. was wondering why the KKK hasn't been charged with RICO following the YSL indictment. And they've been doing stuff for a long time, but they don't charge them with that. And that's one of the things. And like I said earlier, that was why a lot of people were saying, Fani better charge Donald Trump and these folks with RICO, because you keep going after black folks under RICO and giving them all kind of sentences and this, that, and whatever, but they don't go after these white folks. And I didn't hear the conversation. I guess it was a parasite that called in and trying to say, well, what about Stacey Abrams? Yeah, Stacey Abrams, well, Big Swole did not, she didn't concede for a while, but she did not go out and trying to get overturn the election, she went through the proper channel. So Donald Trump didn't go through the proper channel. He decided that he was going to take it on himself and got because there's some of the people that's in that indictment, they're from this county called Coffee County. It's about maybe 200 miles southeast of Atlanta. And when they brought those people in there, they went through them voting machines and they collected information that they were not authorized to take. And that's why they're jacked up now, because they felt that they was white and they could do what they want to do. And that's what got their asses in trouble. And I hope they get 10 years in jail, if not more. So that's the thing that has to be looked at. And these white folks I call them parasites. These are parasites when they always got something to say about us. But when it comes to them, it's a different issue. Just like when our people rose up over there in the Gulf, over there in Alabama, and they start beating the hell out of these folks, all of a sudden, they were like, well, what are they doing? Because again, they had pissed us off. They jumped on a black man and thought that they could do what they wanted to do, and they ended up getting their ass handed to them. But yeah, that's one thing we definitely have to look at. And I'm going to do some more. I'm going to try to do some deeper research on this as to if the Klan has ever really been charged with the Klan or the neo-Nazis or whoever, because the skinheads. Because there was some, I think it was years ago, this Ethiopian guy was killed by a gang of skinheads up in, I think it was in Oregon. But I don't think they went after them with RICO. They don't go after these people. They don't go after these white gangs with RICO. But you let some black folks step up, whereby the white folks gonna call them a gang. They are going to come after them with RICO and whatever else they can throw at them. And I'll land with that.
You brother preach, can I say something real quick? Because I'm over here screaming. That's why you my uncle for life. I'm about to get your name tattooed on my motherfucking forehead because you said that. Because I was just saying that. They're quick to tell us, oh, that's a gang, that's a gang. And when it's a shame. But when it comes to white folks, do you understand that the KKK pay taxes? The government know exactly who they are because they pay. Even the Hell's Angels. The Hell's Angels pay taxes as well. They are a tax-exempt organization. They sell T-shirts on Amazon, but they go, oh, throw the Crips and Bloods in jail. Nah, you're not going to throw my brothers in jail. Not every blood and Crip. And oh, my God. I'm about to get your name on my forehead. You just did that shit. You know what? And Trump was charged. Before this indictment that he just got, the other indictment he got, they used one of the laws that they created for the KKK on him. They used the law that they created for the KKK, but they don't charge the KKK. When white people collectively do things to black people, they always is that individual. But when it comes to us, they want us to shame and they want us to talk about black people and they do not charge the KKK. They do not charge Hell Angels. They do not charge these, I don't even know what you call them boys in the country that been to the military and now they say forget their government and they got all the weapons and stuff. They charge them as individuals. Dudes be shooting up. They collectively, they have a message board. They have a message board where they say, the dude will say, I'm going to go to Buffalo. Now, the FBI is watching the message board. He's gonna go to Buffalo and talk about these attacks that they're doing. They are charging them efforts as individuals when they have a group of people behind them putting money on their books, and it's easy to catch them because they're doing it in plain sight. The dark web, they on there. They don't charge them with RICO. So when I'm saying what I said about Young Thug, I mean that. Now again, I'm not saying don't charge him with the crimes he's committed, but they want to group us together. There's a concerted effort to infiltrate hip-hop and to destroy it from within. The fact that it's celebrating not being for 50 years, because it's been for at least 100 or so years, but they're celebrating the fact that it was named 50 years ago. Hip-hop was named. It got its name 50 years ago. And because of that, there's a concerted effort to make black people in certain groups of people situated and seen a certain way and deemed a certain way. For you to be with known gang members and known criminals, we have to target you. All Bloods and Crips. They want us to focus on our people. But when it comes to the KKK, you don't stand back and stand by. What's them brothers? The Proud Boys. I ain't never seen them charge the Proud. The Proud Boys was down there in January the 6th. Did they charge any of them people with RICO? When they all got together and conspired to go down to the White House, order the Congress and tear some shit up. Did any of them bad boys get charged with RICO? The Proud Boys, they pay taxes. They don't say any of that to them, but they want to tell us how we should look at and how we should see the people in our community. No, if you're in a community with Bloods and Crips, it needs to be people in those communities talking to the Bloods and Crips. Because I know the code and the respect, certain things are off limits.
Real quick, because DJ's got a video, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him. DJ, you ready to play that video? And we'll come back to this topic, but he had a video about Trump, and I want him to go ahead and get that in because we ain't gonna keep the space open too much longer. You there, DJ?
Fulton County grand jury returned a Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment, charging 19 individuals with violations of Georgia law arising from a criminal conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election in this state. The indictment includes 41 felony counts and is 97 pages long. Every individual charged in the indictment is charged with one count of violating Georgia's Racketeer, Influenced, and Corrupt Organizations Act through participation in a criminal enterprise in Fulton County, Georgia, and elsewhere to accomplish the illegal goal of allowing Donald J. Trump to seize the presidential term of office beginning on January 20th, 21. The indictment alleges that rather than abide by Georgia's legal process for election challenges, the defendants engaged in a criminal racketeering enterprise to overturn Georgia's presidential election result. Subsequent to the indictment, as is the normal process in Georgia law, the grand jury issued arrest warrants for those who are charged. I am giving the defendants the opportunity to voluntarily surrender no later than noon on Friday, the 25th day of August, 2023. I remind everyone here that an indictment is only a series of allegations based on a grand jury's determination of probable cause to support the charges. It is now the duty of my office to prove these charges in the indictment beyond a reasonable doubt at trial.
There you go.
All right. That was a pretty short, quick video there. So, all right. We got any speakers that want to come up here? Anybody that wants to speak as well, too? Because I know Original Not Live pretty much been holding it down tonight. We did have trouble. She came up here for a second as well, too, and got it in. But so we got some people up in the space because y'all, we ain't gonna keep this open too much longer. Go ahead, DJ.
Yeah, I got two other videos if you don't mind. They're real short. One is the breakdown of the indictments of Trump as far as commentary of the breakdown of that.
Go ahead and play. You can go ahead and play it.
Yeah, the YSL situation that seems to be spiraling out of control from what I'm reading over here. I don't know, it ain't looking good for them boys, but let's listen to the Trump one again real quick. Fulton County DA Fani Willis lays out sprawling indictment against Trump.
Well, with us on the way is former federal prosecutor Scott Tenley. Scott, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you. So Fani Willis, towards the end of
at her press conference last night said that she intends to try all 19 defendants together and is aiming to have the case go to trial in the next 6 months. Given that this is a RICO sweeping indictment, do you think that timetable is ambitious?
It's ambitious and it's unrealistic, but I think from the perspective of the district attorney, this is messaging to the defendants, meaning we are moving quickly. You can't hide behind this broad indictment and broad charges to hope this goes away in a couple years. And that should encourage plea agreements, and it could encourage people to cooperate. So I look at it more from that perspective. She's messaging to the defendants that this freight train is headed in your direction. You know, and because this is a state case, this is the case right now that were Donald Trump to be elected president, and he could not pardon himself for. And we just saw that Mark Meadows, one of the people who has been indicted, is trying to move the case to federal court. What are the odds of that maneuver being successful? Well, on the pardon point, I would say this. If President Trump is convicted or anything happens, if he is elected president, then the case is probably going to come to a screeching halt. Now, he might have to deal with it after his administration ends. He just couldn't pardon himself. The move by Mark Meadows to move it to federal court is something that President Trump tried in New York, and that was unsuccessful. I think it's likely to be unsuccessful here, but it's certainly a step that we anticipated.
You know, Willis has said that RICO is a tool that allows a prosecutor's office or law enforcement to tell the whole story. So what does she need to convince the jurors of?
Well, the biggest point in a RICO case is always convincing the jurors that there is a RICO enterprise, and that is a group of people associated in fact, not necessarily under a business, but just somehow associated, that have a common criminal objective and that they're participating in a pattern activity. All these crimes that are alleged in the indictment are going to be the pattern of activity. What she's going to have to show is that these people were affiliated with each other and they were all working together toward the unlawful end of overturning the 2020 election results. All right, you know, one of the charges that stands out is the grassroots poll workers, Ruby Freeman and her daughter, who had their lives turned upside down based on these allegations of voter fraud and whatnot. What were your thoughts when you saw that laid out in the indictment? Well, certainly my immediate reaction is that Rudy Giuliani, who's also named in the indictment, is facing a civil suit from Ruby Freeman and her daughter about those same events, and he has admitted in that suit that he lied, that he knew the statements he made were untrue. So in some senses, there's part of Fani Willis's case that's effectively been proven by Rudy Giuliani's own admission. So that's a strong inclusion in the indictment for the DA.
All right, a lot more to come. Scott Tinley, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
The Young Thug thing, so let me take a quick second. So this one right here says, another defendant consumed gets scratched off the list very slow in YSL trial.
Another defendant consumed gets scratched off the list for the very slow going YSL RICO case. Judge Clanville announcing that he wants to approve cutting Jaden Myrick from this case. So the judge just received a mental evaluation on Myrick, which was ordered last month. Myrick robbed and killed Christian Broder outside an Atlanta country club right after a wedding in 2018. He was sentenced to life in prison, but was also named in the YSL trial. Now, most recently, his legal team pushed for a mistrial after a mysterious video leaked on social media back in February. More twists and turns in the Young Limelight gang and racketeering trial as jury selection stretches into its 5th month. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Haynes, in for Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. This weekend, attorney had his laptop seized while in court, and now today, a Fulton County Sheriff's deputy has been arrested and booked at the jail in connection with the case.
Fox News' Tyler Finger joining us live from the Fulton County Jail tonight with tonight's new details. Tyler?
Yeah, Tom, good evening to you. The Young Slime Life case continues to drag on, and we are no closer to a seated jury, let alone a verdict. Now, today, a Fulton County Sheriff's deputy arrested, charged in connection to the case. Sunday will mark 5 months since jury selection began in the Young Slime Life gang and racketeering trial. But so far, there's still not a single juror seated. For those watching from the outside, like lawyer Tom Church, what's happening in the courtroom is head-scratching.
It's descending into chaos. And every day seems to bring a new level of disorder. Since court proceedings started in January, there have been several disruptions. Just this week, there have been two. On Wednesday, Fulton County deputies seized the laptop of defense attorney Eric Johnson, who represents Christian Eppinger. The arrest warrant alleged Eppinger used the laptop in court to communicate with other YSL members who aren't in custody. Then on Friday, Fulton County Sheriff's Deputy Akiba Stanley was arrested for allegedly using a phone to communicate with Eppinger, both in and out of the courtroom. The sheriff's office says she also visited his cell and attempted to smuggle things into the jail for him. I feel like there's been a breakdown here. We have attorneys getting arrested during these proceedings, having their computers seized. We have the judge who's holding lawyers left and right in contempt. Besides the disruptions, Emory law professor Lindsay Barron says complicating the case is finding a jury that can devote the time needed to serve, since the trial could last months. She says trying each defendant separately could solve a lot of the issues, because the case is having an impact beyond just that one courtroom.
It's not just slowing things down in Fulton County, it is slowing things down across the state, because these lawyers can't focus on the other cases that they have.
The Fulton County Sheriff calls his deputy's actions, quote, reckless, and says she's been fired. As for the jury selection for the YSL trial, that's expected to continue again next week. We're live at the Fulton County Jail tonight. Tyler Fingers.
Boy, as you say, so many twists and turns. Tyler, thanks.
All right, just a quick update too. So it says right here, judge locks up Young Thug's brother for possessing of gun while on probation. And just the final one, unfortunately, it is what it is. You know what I mean? For decision, judge denies bond to Young Thug as jury selection continues. So he won't wind up going up for bond hearing or a reissue of a bond. And I think this was like the second time, and the judge denied it again. So it's like, pretty much flight risk, all this other stuff, I guess. Go ahead, though.
All right. I mean, that's pretty much, I think you pretty much summed it in. Anybody want to say something quick? Because we're going to be closing the space out. Anybody got something you want to add?
Yeah, I'll just still say it for the record, you know what I mean? With the Trump indictment, that they definitely using black people to hem up Trump. You know what I mean? This ain't going to go on white people's record. There you go.
All right. So we got no taxation about to come up here. So let me go. I'll go ahead and let her say something real quick. No taxation. I'm gonna let you say something real quick before we go ahead and close the space out. How you doing tonight?
I'm good. I was gonna ask. I hope everybody is fine. Hello to everybody in the room. I was gonna ask original. What do they really have against Young Thug? He did a while back. Young Thug did an interview with Sway, and he said something on there that made me pay attention to him.
Hey, no taxation. Can we get you a little bit louder if possible? It's about the same.
Can you hear me now?
Get off it if you're on your Bluetooth.
I'm not on the Bluetooth. Can you hear me?
It's about the same, but go ahead.
I was going to ask original, what do they have against Young Thug in those political powers? For real. Because when he did his interview with Sway, the one thing that he said that struck me was that he bought all of his brothers and sisters, which I think he said he comes from a family of 15, a house bought and paid for. And do you think that has anything to do with it? Is that why they're looking at him? Because, that doesn't come cheap anywhere in the Atlanta area. And I'm going to leave it there.
What you saying? He bought all 15 of them a house?
That's what he said on that interview with Sway, because Sway asked him, how many brothers and sisters do you have? And I believe he said 12, 13, 14, or 15. I think he said 15, though. He said bought and paid for all of them. He said that's what I did with my money while I was making it. And I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, like I said before, he like the Nino Brown in the hood, give out turkeys on Turkey Day. You know what I'm saying? But, I don't think he really did anything, Tax, to be honest with you. They just got him on charges for what other maybe alleged associated members of YSL were really doing, give or take, meaning busting their gun, some dope, robbing people, committing murders. Again, like Allah said, a 7-year indictment, 7-year history of watching these boys, and they got like a 1,000-page indictment on them. So I don't think Doug was doing anything, but that don't mean anything if they could prove that, hey, he was giving orders and doing all this other shit. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
The other thing I want to say is everything Aunt Lai said and that's it. Everything she said, I agree.
MAGA, MAGA, MAGA.
All right. Original, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't hear no taxation. But yeah, I just want to share this. You got all these.
Hey, no taxation seg. What do you think what charges do you think they got on YSL? Like, what are they charging them? Why are they trying to charge them versus, maybe some of his associates might have been doing the crime, but not him though, personally.
Well, they're claiming that he was the ringleader, and that he was in charge of, or he was, I guess suggesting these people commit all these crimes and this, that, and whatever. But they're claiming that he's the hands behind this entire situation. So that's one of the things. That's what they got him on, as being the ringleader or kingpin or whatever. And then they tapped in all the other ones. And so we'll see what. Like I said, they're still going through jury selection. They haven't even moved past that yet. So this case is gonna move very slowly. Same thing with when Fani said that she wanted to try this case in 6 months. Even attorneys are saying that is not going to happen. Because they got to get through all these motions and then the jury selection. And you've been hearing, some of these racist parasites. They're saying that Donald Trump can't get a fair trial because this is a liberal county. But you can tell by the tone in their voice, they're saying this is a black county. But to let them tell it, we can get a fair trial when it's only white folks on the jury. So they said, and then they want to call that a jury of our peers. White folks are not my peers. So if it's okay for them, because if y'all notice now, they got mad, or they were super mad when OJ was found not guilty in California. And I tell you how sick they are. One of my friends in California, he worked for this financial firm. And so he said that his supervisor, who was a white female parasite, had called everybody into the conference room because all these white people were upset. And she was like, if anybody want to say anything, or if you feeling bad. So then he said, look, if the verdict had gone the other way, would you have called this meeting? And she said no. See, they don't give a damn about us. They only care about themselves. And so that's why I say I hope that enough black people get on this jury where they can convict his ass, because he did all this stuff. I mean, hell, the phone call along where he's saying, I need you to find me some votes. He said, I need you what? 11,780 votes, one more than we got. So he did this. So I really don't want to hear it, because these people, like I said, so we are not their peers, and we should not be able to judge them. But it's every day. That's why they keep telling black people. Have any of you all know, DJ? You might know of him. Y'all remember Judge Bruce Wright out of New York? They would call him "Turn him loose, Bruce." When black folks, pardon me?
Sounds familiar. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, his name was Judge Bruce Wright. They would call him "Turn him loose, Bruce." When these black folk would come before him in his court in New York, he would look at, and a lot of times it would just be stupid stuff, and he'd just say, "Look, go on home and quit acting a fool. I'm gonna let you go this time." And the white people could not stand it. They could not stand it because he would not prosecute them the way the police and the district attorney wanted them to be prosecuted. He he will send these black folks back home to their families. But see, when you see these people nowadays, they're showing the white folks, I can be just as ruthless with the black people than you can. As a matter of fact, I can do it better than you. Let me show you how I do it. So that's why people say it doesn't matter when you see some of these black folks in these positions, because if they're not coming with the perspective of Judge Bruce White, and that's why I have to say his name like that, but the racist parasites call them turn them loose Bruce, and I ain't mad at them. And I'll land with that.
All right, let me go ahead and get to FBA Goddess, and I'm gonna get to no taxation, and then we're gonna close it out.
Hey, I just came in. I just got down from a council meeting, so I just want to ask a question about this title. I heard about the charges, the legal charges against Trump, but you also have Young Thug's name up there. So, are they tying them together, or is you just have that up there listed like that?
No, Young Thug. Mute your mic, FBA got to some feedback, but no, Young Thug also has RICO charges as well too. So the same DA she's gave both of them file RICO charges against both of them.
Well, I knew she had some RICO charges against Young Thug already. So are these new charges, or are these the same ones that she was trying to push?
No, it's the same one. It's just that Atlanta they talking about that these trials are going to be the two biggest trials in the history of Atlanta when they take place. So we just went ahead and added this to the actual, because both of them have RICO charges, and Atlanta's supposed to have two huge trials of both of these people. But yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay, well, that was my only question. And I was thinking about Trump as far as the information they had and the stuff they have on him. I mean, they have recorded. They have a whole lot of. I don't know. I'm just saying by the looks of things, so that's all I can say. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me go ahead and get to no taxation. No taxation. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, check your DM total.
I'm wondering if the fix is in, because when she said, the DA said that she was going to try all 19 at the same time. Is she using that as a tactic to make them, the 19 cases break themselves off, and she, and let them win that side of the argument? Or is she going to try all 19, knowing 18 will fall off but him, and see if she can get everybody on the, everybody else to turn on him? I wonder what are they saying, original? Tell us, Doug, what's going down in Atlanta? What they saying now?
Okay, I'm gonna let original, because we might to close it out. So real quick, original, go ahead real quick and let and tell no taxation what it is real quick. I'll give you about 2 minutes, and we're gonna get ready to close the space out.
Okay. Well, she has 30 of them. They're unindicted co-conspirators. So they, I think they may be like some people who are giving them enough information where they can try. I think it's about 30 of them. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah, that's how I'll land with it. I just wanted to share that she has 30. It's about 30 unindicted co-conspirators that may be cooperating with her to to bring this RICO charge on the rest of them. And I'll land with that.
All right. On that note, guys, we're gonna go ahead, DJ. I know you want to play one more video, but I'm gonna go ahead and close it out for the night. I think that's pretty much it. We pretty much hit on everything for the night, so we'll see.
Hey, let me say this one last thing, just real quick, 2 seconds out. So young thug charges are conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Influence and Corruption Organization Act. Participation in criminal street gang activity, possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute, possession of a Schedule 3 or 5 controlled substance with the intent to distribute, possession of firearm during commission of a felony. So he had a felony already. When he had a firearm, he could get 5 years just for that. You know what I'm saying? So he was already on probation or not allowed to carry a gun for whatever reason. The bare minimum 5 years. It better not be no hollow point tips in there. That's 5 years per bullet. Yo, look it up. So what you call it is either to distribute firearm commission felony, possession of sawed-off shotgun, sawed-off rifle, machine gun, dangerous weapon, or silencer, unlawful for person employed by associated with criminal street gang to conduct, participate in crime, unlawful for person employed by associated. Yeah, so he's been charged. The person associated with the criminal street gang to conduct, participate in crime. He got 3 charges of criminal. For a person employed by association with criminal street gang, conduct, participate in crime. He's been charged with that three separate times. But it got 3 separate docket numbers on here. So that could mean 3 separate different types of association of a crime. See what I'm saying? That's what I was saying a couple nights ago. You know your man got a gun. You around them. Y'all get stopped. Oh, it ain't my pistol. Well, who pistol is it? Ain't nobody say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? We all going to jail. I've had that happen to me, yo. Just off of weed. Oh, it ain't my weed. I know it ain't mine, you know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody gonna say, oh, yo, that's his shit. We all going to jail. It's just really that simple, yo. So it's like, ain't nobody saying nothing. So Young Thug might have not been the person doing all the hooting and hollering, but being that he's associated with these other members of an organization that he's technically the leader of, you pretty much got these charges against you. There you go. And just for the other video, for the record, y'all go look up the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast with Young Thug. And Wallow told Young Thug, hey, look, you better stop doing what you're doing because it ain't going to end well for you. Now, we all know Wallow, he spent like 25 years of his life in jail from a young kid to a grown man. You know what I'm saying? So if he told Thug this years ago, hey, stop, yada. But just to flip the conspiracy side of it, that could have been, and this is no fault of Gilly or Wallow, $1 million worth of game, because we already know the hip-hop police, they stay watching us. So what if they saw that video like, damn, what the hell Thug doing? What's Wallow talking about? I'm consciously thinking like, damn, you really saying, hey, look, you doing something, but you ain't really doing it. But you telling this young man to chill out and stop whatever it is he's doing, allegedly. You know what I mean? So, hey, that's a clue right there for me. Oh, damn, what the fuck Thug doing there? You know, Wallow, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what most people gonna think. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, well, he's supposed to be a rapper, MC, and getting his money through the music and all this other stuff, touring and concerts and merchandise. What else you doing? So that's just a key for the hip hop police to go. Let's do an investigation. And that was what was that video? Hold up a minute. What was this video? 2 years ago. See that? So it's like, and Young Thug situation ain't been but a year and a half. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it don't take much. And if they always, like Allah said, they already had 5 years prior other evidence on top of that. You know what I'm saying? From just the YSL dudes doing whatever they doing in the street. Hey, this Young Thug homies right here. So we gonna get your man, your boss, your president, the owner of YSL Records, you know what I'm saying, on a conspiracy RICO charges. There you go.
All right. Appreciate that. Shout out to everybody in the space tonight. Thank you guys for coming through to another Newstoter.
Hey, my bad. I was just going to say that ties into what taxation was saying. They're going to try to get these other little underlings to tell on Young Thug, but that ain't been working. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead. We out.
Yeah, because I'm about to close it out. But shout out to everybody coming up in the space, guys. We will see y'all tomorrow night for the Twitter space, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the usual time. So everybody have a good night. Be safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Peace. Coming to the liquor store.
Peace to everybody on YouTube as well. See you guys tomorrow night.